Alright guys, welcome back. I got some Hoovu 6500 batteries. They currently have EC5s on them. I do not run EC5s. I run XT90s on pretty much everything I run, as far as bashers and my racers and stuff like that. So I figured that this would be a good time to kind of show how I do my soldering. Maybe it can help somebody in the future. Maybe it won't. I don't know. This is the way I do it. I'm not saying that it's the right way to do it, but it is a way that I have proven to myself and friends that it does work. Usually don't have a problem with them. Once they're on there for good. So all right, let's put these connectors on and see how it goes. Okay, so what I like to do first, take one battery, get my connector, take some flux, put a little bit of flux on each connector end where you're going to put your wires. Doesn't need a whole lot, just put a little bit on there. Might as well do them both while you're there, if you're doing two batteries. Like I said, you don't need a whole lot. I also put some on the wires, so we're going to take one wire, positive first, doesn't matter, you can do either or. I like to strip a little bit of the wire off, not too much. And I give that guy just a little twist. Believe it or not, guys, it's kind of a good thing to make sure your hands are clean and free of oils before you do this. Before you touch the wires, make sure your hands are not greasy, because that grease gets on these wires and the solder doesn't stick to it very well. Even though you're putting flux on it and it's getting on there real good, the solder does not like to stick to grease. So that's a big thing. I noticed a long time ago when I was doing these, I never washed my hands, stuff like that, and the connectors would always come apart, and I was like, man, why is it doing that? And I was like, one of my friends told me, he's like, well, do you wash your hands before you touch the wire and stuff like that? And I was like, no. He's like, well, do that, because you're putting grease and oils into that wire before you solder it. I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. It's not going to really stick to it real good if there's grease on it. Makes sense. All right, enough of that. Take a little bit of flux, put it on the wire. This helps it stick, yes, but it also helps the solder sink down into the wire, and that is a big thing. You want that, you want the wire to get tinned good. I don't have a tinning cup yet. I'm going to get one, but I don't have one yet. These little helping hand things, these are great to use. Make sure you put your connector end on, so when you finish, you pull them up and they'll be good to go. Alright, let's see here. Sorry about the shakiness, guys. I'm kind of using a little thing. I'm waiting on my tripod to come in the mail. See how that kind of went up there? It just sinks right into it. So like I said, I don't know if I'm doing it right. This is just the way I do things, and I know it works, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. I'm probably doing it wrong though. I'm sure I'll have people tell me I'm doing it wrong. But that's okay. I know it works. And that's all I need to know. And take that and twist it back around to the other side so we can get the other side tinned. I mean, this should be a fairly easy process. When I first started doing them, it was really hard on me. I didn't like doing it. But until I figured out, you know, easier ways, and these helping hand things, they're awesome. I love them. Okay, the one thing I do need to get is connector holders. Would be nice. It's one thing I don't have is connector holders. Alright, we already got the flux in there. Sorry if it's kind of shaky, guys. Like I said, I don't have a tripod yet. I like to put a little bit of solder in here just to give it something to stick to. You don't necessarily have to do it this way, but it's just something I like to do. I've always done it this way and it works. Just put a little bit in there, not too much. You don't want to go too crazy with it, because if you do, then when you solder your negative, it's going to be all bunched in there. And this is why I like using the helping hands. Sorry. Kinda nervous here. Never done this on film before. It's okay, it's first time for everything, right? And you just heat it up till it sticks in there. You want to feel it kind of sink down in. And when it's done, it should be solid, nice and tight. It's always good to, if you got something heavy, to kind of put it on the battery so the battery doesn't move around on you, because you do have to push a little bit. See, that just popped up. I don't like that when that happens. Alright, I think that's a pretty good seal right there. I like to take a little bit of solder and put it on top. Be sure your connection's good. Always good to get the excess off your soldering iron, because you know you touch the coating on the wire and stuff like that, and that gets into the solder too. That ain't good. All right, guys, that's a pretty good solder right there, I'd say. It's good to me. Alright, now you can do this one of two ways. I like to put a little barrier in between my positive and negative. That way, if the solder does drip, it doesn't drip onto the other one and cause a short. We don't want that, you know. We want it to be good, not bad. I like to just put a piece of electrical tape or something like that around there. Let it cool down just a little bit so it ain't burning you while you're trying to wrap it up. You ain't got to go crazy with this. It's just a barrier. So I just do a little piece like that. And like I said, you ain't got to go crazy. I can use this for the next one. Okay. Just put that up there. All right. On to the negative. You see how when I cut my connectors off, I'll put my snips right next to the connector that I'm cutting it off of. That way I know it's the same size. You got the same amount come off. And I could probably use that connector again if you really wanted to, but I wouldn't. They're cheap enough. Then again, same thing. Alright, let's put this guy in here so we can do a little bit of this. Well, I was going to take it off first so I can put some flux on there. I'm only going to do one battery, guys. You get the gist of it. I'm not going to do both on film. That'd take forever. And I don't want to put you guys through that, so here you go. Alright, that's good and ready. I like to take something and put over this other connector until I get this one tinned, so it's not moving around and arcing on the other thing, because I'll have this in here and I don't want it to arc on anything and have a chance on, fire or something like that. So I like to do, I don't know, I just got a little procedure that I do when I do this. That way I make sure it's safe and I'm not burning my house down. My old lady would not be too happy if I burned the house down. I could tell you that. I don't know if yours would, but mine would. And you can kind of see that solder just sink into that wire. And that's what you want. You want that wire to absorb the solder. You don't want it to sit on top. If it's sitting on top, it's not doing anything, guys. Just like working. If you're just sitting there, it's not doing anything. You're not doing anything. Sorry. See, I'll put a little bit on there like that, and then hit it and let it soak it into that wire. It soaks in real good. Like I said, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I could be doing it wrong. I don't know. Nobody really showed me how to do it. I just kind of learned over the years what works and what doesn't. Sorry for the background noise, guys. Alright. And we'll put some solder in our next connector. So I like to take my battery, turn it sideways. My helping hand down here like this, because you want that to be in line with this one like that, so the wires aren't, you know, twisted up. You don't want the wires twisted. You want them to be relaxed. You want this wire to go in there where it's supposed to, like that. Okay, and we're gonna hold this wire down again. Well, sorry guys, I'll cut that out. Good thing about editing. And we'll fill this one with a little bit of solder. Like I said, not too much. You gotta go crazy with it. I like to do that and get it in there best that I can. Alright, let's take our wire. And we're gonna, oh, I need to get something on this to make it heavy so it doesn't move on me. That's one thing I wish I had, was a heavier helping hand sometimes. That'd be a lot easier on me, I can tell you that. Alright. I don't like the way that went. And nope, didn't get it. Alright, I gotta figure out something here. Keep this from wanting to move on me. So we're gonna, I guess, use the other battery, I don't know. Keep it from wanting to slide. It's sliding on me, guys. It's sliding on me. You guys are probably like, geez, man. You suck at this. Well, we ain't all perfect. Well, I think I'm gonna have to take this other helping hand and hold the connector with it somehow. If I can. That would be nice. That would be awesome. Alright. Alright, I felt her drop. Cool. That's what I wanted. Wanted it to drop. Now we can smooth it out a little bit. Add a little bit to the top. Like I said, you ain't gotta go crazy with it. Just to help the bond on the top, make sure everything's connected. Make sure everything's cleaned up. And if I'm doing something wrong, guys, let me know. Maybe I am. I don't know. I'll take your advice and see if I am. I love learning new things. All right. And that's it. She is good to go. Nice and solid. Never gonna come off of there. All you gotta do is take the other one off. Put your connector on. Careful when you're doing stuff like this. Don't want to touch them together. And looks like we got two good soldered. Very strong. Not going to come apart. Awesome. Look what I forgot to do, guys. I forgot to put that in that wire. So guess what I get to do? Take it back off and do it again. Awesome. Alright, guys. Like I said, you know, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. I did make a mistake. And I'm going to keep this on here because I don't really care. I'm going to show you how to fix it. Put it back in. Good to go. Alright. So, what I do is get it into the helping hand best that you can. If it'll grab it. Because you're going to want to heat this thing back up and pull it out. So you can pull the two wires apart like this. I like to push on the bottom one. See how it just pops apart? Okay. And like I said, no big deal, man. This is why we're learning. It's why we're learning. Ain't nothing but a thing. Alright. Put that down here. Get it out of our way. This back on this thing. Like I said, don't freak out, guys. It's what happens. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. Now, I like to go back in, smooth the wire back out, get everything nice and the way you want it. And if it's got a little bare spot on it, touch it up, put a little more solder on it. You know, everybody makes mistakes. It's just how you fix that mistake. Alright. Bring it back over. Smooth everything back out. Clean your iron off. Alrighty, I think I got it that time, guys. We do it right. Why? Because we do it twice. Alright, and that is 2 good solders. I like them. They're both fully seated into the connectors, fully, nice and tight. No problem there. Good to go. Alright, just slide that up, clip it on, that's it, good to go. Alright guys, if you have not already, please do like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and I really do appreciate it. If you guys would like to see more of this kind of stuff, please let me know in the comments. I don't mind doing it, it's fun. If it helps you all, that's good too. Alright guys, thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.